too logically, and you need to understand that that's not the game that we play.
I'm a fool. What can I say? I am a fool and an absolute chud. But either way, we are definitely going to see the. Are we
A
going to
very
see?
different matchup ahead of us. I don't know how this is starting off losers finals, but Sansko leading in with his Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
StanLoona leading in with their Rosa and Luna.
Yeah, and that's interesting.
It's a horrible matchup for DK, so I'm very curious to see what on earth led to this, beginning our trek back into best of 5 territory for tonight, and who gets the opportunity to play Rivers over in Grand Finals.
StanLoona, however, is doing pretty well for themselves, all things considered. They have won a Fusion bracket all the way back in May when they wound up beating Skew in Grand Finals. Remember, Skew, the Banjo man, a couple months back. I believe that was in May, so looking for their second of the Tri-State tournaments. Well on their way, beating the DK of Sansko, who has not done poorly in recent brackets themselves. But yeah, Big Monkey, StanLoona, not finding them all that funny.
Yeah, no, this matchup is... There's a lot of work ahead of Sansko here. Like, not only do you have to contest with the fact that Luma is just going to be an ever-present threat unless you actively kill it, like, Rosa is able to play a very passive game against DK and not really lose out. Especially the fact that we're here on FD. If StanLoona's more patient with their movement, at no point are they really going to be too pressed because they'll be able to break through on Donkey Kong super easy and manage to get pretty reliable damage. Especially with these Luma things here and there that we're seeing from StanLoona. Like, Sansko's going to have to play a very aggressive game and make any end and gets on Rosa count.
So my question is this, because we have seen DK be deployed in the past by Sansko, but more often than not, if they're not going with that Bowser that we've come to know them for and that have won a few of these brackets in the past, in fact, finishing third just last Monday at Fusion, when we have seen them go to the pockets, we've seen them go with the Ganondorf. We've seen them go with the Cave Rule. Why DK here?
I'm going to be real with you, Stu. I can't tell you. I feel like any of the other super heavies, if someone had to limit themselves to playing strictly the super heavies, picking Donkey Kong into Rosalina is potentially the worst option you could have picked. Like, maybe it's a comfort pick. Maybe it was a double-blind character pick. I can't give you a logical reason as to why this situation led itself here on purpose. And I feel like it's just being proved in motion here as StanLoona has got the stock lead, has stage control, isn't really pressed here at the ledge, able to get up pretty decent damage. Hell, even playing like they're ready to take the stock off of Sansko.
I mean, I think they're more than ready to take the stock. I think they're trying to make the speed run into into grand finals happen as quickly as possible. And whenever you get a chance to test yourself against Rivers, it's not an opportunity that you want to waste. However, Sansko could be looking for revenge. Before they do that, they're going to have to take down the concentrated, methodical gameplay of StanLoona. And we are down to the last stock. Luma, is going to make their exit courtesy of gigantic double slap from DK. Dash attack, spot dodge, and yeah, this is Sansko playing perhaps a little bit more carefully than we've been seeing, taking those lessons that they learned from Rivers to heart, perhaps.
I think just the notion that like you have to swing every chance you're given. And Donkey Kong is, of course, one of those characters that can swing pretty heavily. But one thing I do want to point out that is particularly smart about Sansko's play is how willing he is to swing through Luma or just strictly at Luma. But of course, it's Rosa's the one that you got to swing at if you want to net that win, and it's Sansko's getting game one because of it.
Yeah, and well, they are not afraid to swing. That is for certain, and Sansko is going to be rewarded by going up 1-0, and we were talking about just how poor a matchup this could be for DK, and indeed, getting tagged by Luma certainly did not help, but on the very end of their jump, swinging away with the double hands, and, well, StanLoona caught her.
I love the absolute regression in logic that occurred from Sansko's Donkey Kong throughout that match, where game one, it seemed like very, strict by the books Donkey Kong play. Like, get your short hop back airs in, try to get your dash attack in to start something. Get your cargo throw combos, be a good Donkey Kong player, get that clip.
Everything they got was off a full hop. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't until we started to see in the latter half of the second stock and all throughout the last stocks where Sansko was like, swing. He just swung with everything. Smash attacks aplenty, forward air, which is one of the more laggier options, mind you, but like just reckless abandon spacing with the down smashes and how well it worked.
I mean, are you going to argue with results? That's the thing. And
listen, man, no, there's no matchup in this game that is strictly impossible. There's like any matchup can be won. That is to say, there are matchups that are hard to win. And it looks like StanLoona's coming out to game 2 with yet another one. Picking Palutena instead of the Rosalina, I think, is a smarter option and a safer option as a whole. But if Sansko is willing to just swing recklessly all over again, I think we might see the same level of success.
I think I told you about that when I was playing Elite Smash with Captain Falcon against the Pikachu, and I wound up winning, like taking 2 consecutive stocks, and I popped off so hard that I literally had my glasses fly out the window and into a trash compactor. So that's how I lost my glasses. I'm not even kidding. Oh my God, StanLoona is going to take the stock from Sansko in just as unretrievable a fashion. But yes, that is a true story.
Bro, that's stock when it's the trash compactor. I don't know what the hell happened there with Sansko.
Oh no. Oh, the poor soul. But Sansko...
It's not even like Sansko made any poor decisions. Like, he just got outspaced and just ran from one end of the stage to the other. Between Auto Reticle and Explosive Flame, there's plenty of opportunity for StanLoona to trap any retreat that Sansko offers. And then when you count in hunting down with forward airs and back airs, there's a lot of damage that Sansko's going to be taking that he's going to have to try to respond in short fashion. And that's a way to do it, I guess.
I mean, it's a way to do it. I'm not going to take that away from them. But, yeah, sitting here at 2 stocks apiece, Sansko right now. Hitting him with the series of back airs. You were talking about it. Might as well go back to the reliable strats. In there to space themselves from StanLoona, but I mean, you're gonna have to get your distance from this Palu however they can, because they can attain it a lot easier than you.
I'm gonna be real with you, Stu. I'm so here for this Donkey Kong play. This is some of the highest level of degeneracy I've seen in a top 4 in a TNA in a while. The way this man is spacing forward smash like there's not a care in the world. Blast.
Have you not seen Chunky Kong? Is my question. This is all the character does on Wi-Fi. It just mashes and it works. It's amazing.
It's the specific options and the specific spacing that just makes it seem like it's going to work so well. Now, I say that, and Sansko is still at a deficit, leading pretty heavy on the last stock, but like, this is very doable. This is the same situation, in fact, that Sansko found himself in Game 1.
Keeps killing it.
I'm mad that like 6 or 7 backers actually worked to the end.
How did DK's make this matchup work? Because it was a couple of weeks ago that we saw Chunky Kong taking out White Nova in a pretty similar fashion. But I mean, it feels like in theory this should not be all that doable. That backer's going to take it, catches the jump on the get up, and we are all drawn up at 1 apiece. It was not without their effort, though, from Sansko, but StanLoona, that's a pretty decent Palutena that we've seen from them as we take one more look at the replays.
Yeah, so how I was going to answer your question that you posited at the end of this game too is actually, I feel like what we're going to be seeing from out of these replays is just the fact that it's not the projectiles, it's not the combo in there, it's the other moves that you have to really watch out for when it comes to Palutena. Back air, down tilt, forward air, up smash. These are going to be ways that constantly pressing DK to the ledge where he's not really in a position to swing back at, and then keeping him at the ledge. Because traditionally, DK has not ever had a good time returning from the ledge. Offstage is just not a fun place to be for DK. So if you take advantage of the tools that keep him there and keep racking up damage on him, that's just how it goes. However, we do have a different matchup leading ourselves into Game 3. With the switch to the Bowser that brought Sansko this deep into bracket to begin with, let's see how well Town and City treats them against Palutena.
Yeah, and Sansko's results with this Bowser, quite frankly, they speak for themselves. Just 2 days ago, as we were talking about, 3 days ago, excuse me, taking Fusion.EXE, well, taking third place in that tournament, losing only to Low Yoshi and Beast in that instance. Please pardon me, but still, recent results not doing too poorly. Has won a couple of smaller brackets as well, and certainly making their mark on this one as well as StanLoona going to have to deal with one of the fiercest Bowsers we have in Tri-State, this native of the Empire State. Nair is going to do its work. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that, being from New York. And, yep, the Fire Breath right back onto the stage. StanLoona having a tougher time negotiating this Bowser than perhaps the DK, but nevertheless, still in this one. So Sansko doing their best to get them out of it.
I feel like StanLoona can tighten up the offstage play. Like, this matchup could look just as good as that previous game did for them. But, like, mistiming the down tilts, making poor options off stage, like, time and time again, we've seen that if you give Sansko an edge, he takes a mile. You can't give him the opportunity to play the game. You can't give him the opportunity to get that free damage. Like, Fire Breath and the up B are just going to constantly put StanLoona in a position where he's just eating damage he can't really afford to take.
I mean, we're
at 87% already. Even if Sansko just decides to start swinging recklessly with down smash and forward smash, he can get it. He just gets it.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Palutena kind of gets privileged into, so it's not like StanLoona is in any position to talk in that instance. But my goodness, the power!
Hey, listen,
that power is
he's on this kind of a back heel. He's got to start talking sooner or later.
Something, yeah.
It doesn't matter how good a character is if you don't know how to like take advantage of what makes them good.
And what we have seen from Sansko, a rather underrated part of their gameplay, is just how good they have been at avoiding these aerial combos. And it kind of started even all the way back in their winners semifinal matchup against StanLoona, which Sansko wound up taking 2-0 against the Bayonetta of StanLoona. It was just how easily they were able to avoid those ladder combinations and getting out of that, and that EI that they were able to deploy. But that is a domineering victory from Sansko. Borderline JB2 only took 1% of damage that last stock, and yeah, it didn't. It seems like that's all the space that they needed. Getting
like,
right
it's no secret that Palutena is able to control space very effectively. It's just you need to know how to utilize those tools to do so, especially against a target like Bowser, who's going to be swinging pretty heavily. Like, we've seen how often Sansko's swinging with forward air, and how often it's working because he's timing that forward air really well. He's timing it around the neutral airs. He's timing it around the back airs. There's a lack of up airs, and up air is an amazing tool for being able to juggle Bowser. And I just feel like if StanLoona was able to slow down the gameplay a little bit, take a breather, recognize where Sansko's getting all this damage, where Sansko's getting all of the stocks from, and just eliminates that uncertainty from happening, all of a sudden it should fall into play for him, because Palutena does beat Bowser on paper. It's just a matter of recognizing that, like, don't let him land, so you need to juggle him, and Palu's got the tools for that. Don't let him swing recklessly, and you have tools to be able to check his swinging.
To be fair, I do feel like Sansko's mixing up their aerial movement enough, and certainly whenever they're in disadvantage, they're playing it just well enough to not get caught out by the things that they generally do when it comes to Palutena play. So I don't feel like it's necessarily anything that they're doing wrong. It's just that Sansko has been doing just enough to get themselves in the win column 2 times out of 3, and really on the precipice of this grand finals berth against Rivers, who's been nothing short of impressive on this during this tournament. Certainly showed out on this stream, and certainly on Hungrybox's stream in winners semifinals. So I don't know. I would say that there is something to be said about the defensive play of Sansko. The question is, what is it that StanLoona does? You're talking about counterpunching when it comes to the recovery, maybe not going up quite as quickly, maybe not be as inclined to try to catch with the up air and go for those Twitter clips. My question is, though, when you're talking about on the ground where you're getting hit so freely, I know that Palutena kind of has the kit of maybe a defensively based character, but at some point you got to start deploying it as such.
I mean, I think it was just a matter that Sansko seems like he knew what to do in the matchup from his end, but StanLoona didn't know what to do in the matchup from their end. I don't recall seeing a lot of dash attack, and Palu's dash attack's amazing for being able to steal out ground control, being able to deny bad landings. It's a part of what makes the character really good at controlling space and pressing outwards to the ledge, which she can then control very well. I'm personally, at least from this showing, I'm not confident in StanLoona's Palu. Where Palutena, yes, is a character that can get the job done. With the way that StanLoona is utilizing these tools, I don't have that kind of confidence. Especially given, as you brought up, Sansko has a very good idea of where to position himself when he swings, when he doesn't swing, where to land, when to move in. Like, it's very strong reactionary play, and Bowser's a great character behind that style of play, that mentality in general. But Palutena as a character is able to limit those options.
So my question is, of the competitors that we have seen thus far, just the utility that both of these players have shown, both with the super heavyweight aptitude of Sansko and what we've seen from StanLoona thus far, as they are going back to the Zelda to perhaps counterplay against this Bowser. This is their third character that we've seen from them just in this set. So what are you expecting in terms of who do you think has the better chance of taking out Rivers in Grands, taking 6 games from Rivers?
So I'm going to humor the idea that either of these players will beat Rivers, and I will say that the one of the better to do it would maybe be Sansko, and that's only because I feel like Sansko just has a stronger reactionary play, where StanLoona's play is more heavily leveraging patience. I don't know if be able to outpatience a player like Sansko, who has a very good sense of recognizing when they're allowed to play the game and when they aren't. And just like that, knowing when to swing, being able to take stocks incredibly early, like Sansko manages to take the first stock here in Game 4 with nary a sweat broken.
Yeah. No, I didn't say probably. I said possibly. So just wanted to
like it's Sansko, at least given like how these players are playing right now. Like Sansko hasn't deviated from his game plan, outside of switching off of the Donkey Kong, which I think is for the best. I feel like
I just wanted you to catch the defensive tone of my voice. Is all I was saying. That was the most important thing there. But no, there's something to be said about the way that Sansko has been playing the game, and as we take this 2 stocks apiece, Sansko right now shielding back and doing well to avoid the obstacles that Zelda has been presenting. And yeah, you're talking about reactionary gameplay. When you get Zelda pressing the buttons first, I guess it makes life a lot easier for you, doesn't it?
So StanLoona is in a position where he needs to just throw out all the projectiles. He needs to keep Sansko far away. And running away with the thrower's wind, I think, is also going to be really smart, essential, in fact, for StanLoona to be able to slow this gameplay to a screeching halt. The slower this game gets, the more easy it's going to be for StanLoona to try and even things out, net a lead, and potentially the win. Hey, there's that up air through the stage. Can you like that one still?
I'd rather not have to get up and walk away again, because I noticed that I usually don't show off my pants on stream, and the pink of these pants is really clashing with the red, white, and blue motif. So I'm self-conscious about that now. So anyway, stock number 3 now for Sansko, playing from behind, but there's nothing that side B cannot equalize, at least in my mind. Certainly, we know some people in the tri-state area that might have something to say about that, but nevertheless, we're at 1 stock apiece, and Sansko 1 stock away from a trip to Grands to take on Rivers. Good combination there.
Even though there's such a heavy percentage deficit here for Sansko, I feel like we're like 2 or 3 solid interactions away from this going completely off the rails.
Oh, man, and the last thing you want is for the train to go off the rails. So keep it going. StanLoona is going to try to keep chugging along and came very close. However, Sansko, expertise on the landing, sitting at 129, is not willing to give up the ghost just yet. Sitting at center stage, just out of range of the Phantom Sentry. Trying to catch him with the F smash. Gotta appreciate it, but StanLoona yeets the feet, and just like that, we're going to a game 5.
That forward smash was just a little too zealous. I feel like Sansko had a little bit of work ahead of him to be able to snatch that victory back, but very good on StanLoona to be able to pressure his opponent and be able to force that type of an interaction. I brought this up a little earlier when StanLoona's Zelda was present on stream, but like playing out of shield, Zelda has a lot of options. Like often we see the furrows win because of the typical response is a good get off me tool, but forward air and back air are both very swift out of shield, and if spaced properly, of course, can lead to pretty early kills, or if anything, good amount of damage. So Sansko's going to have to be a bit more careful if he's going to go for some heavy strikes like that moving into game 5.
Well, that's the operative word of the sentence, isn't it? If it works properly. Yeah, that's absolutely hits like a train. You never want that thing to go off the rails. You have to save the train. And that seems to be the message that Sansko is going to have to carry with them, because once they pick up speed going forward, it's like Derrick Henry hitting up the middle. You do not stop it, plain and simple. So going to game 5, to the settling of everything and to the crowning of a loser's bracket champion. The winner of this one will face off against Rivers as we go to Pokemon Stadium 2 for the rubber match.
All right, once again, I feel like the game plans are very set in stone here. StanLoona needs to just zone extremely effectively, keep a very long distance, build up that damage as safely as possible. Sansko, make those little interactions where he manages to win out count. He'll build the damage pretty swiftly. He just needs to make sure that killing blow leads straight.
Now trying to carry forward. Sansko, at this moment, not leading, but yeah, the numbers, I think we have come to learn, Hangman, are a little meaningless in this instance. Gonna get parried away by the Nehru's Love, but yeah, there's nothing that a big gigantic shell falling from above can't fix. And yeah, that side B, it ain't bad either, to be fair.
No, not at all, especially when you consider how prevalent like playing defensively is going to be for Zelda's game plan. Like, you don't want to strike on shield if you aren't going to do anything useful with it. You don't want to give Zelda that opportunity. So just grabbing her out of the air or out of shield is a great move.
Keeps on
and a good catch there.
Oh, just in the range of that Phantom Sentry. You talk about your annoying swords in this game, but held up by that F smash. Sansko getting batted around like a government mule and tries to get back to the stage. However, it's scooped up and carried out by that up B. A quick little escort into the blast zone, and now we are at 2 stocks apiece, and the numbers are even. But again, it's the time that the scoreboard lies to you. Sansko has StanLoona in a compromising position, and you can't hold shield forever.
Ooh, good grab out of that interaction. I like that. Okay. Not only get too much more off of it, but in general, good reactions from StanLoona. This is what I want to see. It seems like StanLoona's much more comfortable playing behind Phantom, playing at a distance. Like, the long-range Din's fires are also doing really good for being able to force Sansko into unfavorable positions and unoptimal landings in general. And also, like, reacting to how their opponent plays around the Phantom, it seems like we're getting a lot of damage out of that and more kill potential. However,
you just erased the stock on the get-up. You got caught lacking. And now, your second stock belongs to Sansko. 1 away from a berth in Grand. StanLoona needs to find a way to even this up. Trying to get advantage. Keeping that Bowser at ledge. What's it going to take? It's the up smash that's going to scoop. And here we are. Game 5, 1 stock apiece.
Ooh, that shield has seen better days. Excellent assault from StanLoona. However, at the ledge, once again, this is where Sansko's been getting a lot of damage, mostly through Fire Breath. If he just drops from Elo, he does not care.
This is the moment of truth for one of these two individuals. We've seen Sansko and StanLoona in grand finals of this very tournament a few times. Sansko under a few different tags, to be completely fair, but Either way, the con job ain't over until the man on top goes down, and that is what you gotta do to the King Koopa. Yeet the feet, off the stage they go, and Sansko. Oh, don't tell me he quit out. Don't tell
No,
me.
not like
Oh
this. Not
no.
like
Oh.
this. Not like
Oh.
this. Well, them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks, boys.
Yeah, hey, listen, if
Them's the
you know
breaks.
what you were up against. This is the first time that Zelda came out. You know what Zelda's capable of.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's
but
what I was saying earlier. It's like StanLoona garners so much from being able to pressure the opponent by outpatiencing the opponent. And I guess I gave Sansko just a little too much credit earlier because in that game 5, especially as the stocks were starting to reduce, we saw a lot less patience, a lot more willingness to swing, and more vague attempts at dispositioning the opponent. But that's where StanLoona seemed the most comfortable. Once he was under his opponent's skin, he built up the damage no problem. He had the entire stage to dance around. This Zelda was moving. Infamous though it may be, that's how you play the character. That's how you win the sets. That's how you get yourself into grand finals.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about the shift that was made from the very conservative, very entrenched gameplay of the Zelda that we saw from the set prior to what we saw just now, where they were able to kind of take the game to Bowser. They weren't content to just sit back. They counterpunched when they needed to, but they were not afraid to go in when they smelled blood in the water and devour those stocks when they needed to. So a well-earned spot in grand finals in 5 games. Sansko is going to bow out in 3rd place, and it was a spot well-deserved, but certainly not what they wanted. So, folks, as we thank you for joining us here on twitch.tv/Master Hand Gaming, alongside Collision Series' very own Hangman, I am Mazer the announcer. Crystallodian on the production desk, and I'm going to ask Crystallodian one time, hit him with the ad slides. Master Hand Gaming is a proud partner of the United E-League Federation. That's where you can register, play games, and earn credits. UEF is proud to provide earning opportunities for players, commentators, organizers, live producers, and so much more. If you want the info, go ahead, register at UEF.GG, providing infrastructure for grassroots esports all across the globe on Wi-Fi and offline when it comes back. Master Hand Gaming is a proud partner of UEF.GG. But once again, it's not just earning opportunities, it's learning opportunities. The man that you are about to see in grand finals is Rivers. Has been a mainstay of the Smash community for quite some time, since top 8 in majors on multiple instances. He's hosting a workshop series. Wednesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Student and spectator passes are available starting at $5, or with your UEF membership, utilize some of those credits and get in on the action. UEF.GG/learn-more. But as we get started on this set, just wanted to take a moment and recognize that there are people watching from all across the world. And wherever you're watching from, whatever you're watching this on, certainly want to thank you for being a part of this community. Thank